Hey everybody, JC here. It is about 3:15 on Saturday afternoon, about to go pick up one of my sons from the Houston Intercontinental Airport. He is flying in from San Diego for Thanksgiving, the Marine. So let's go pick him up. I've already got the navigation set in here for the George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Let's push the button and go. There we go. Trying to figure out which way it wanted to go, left or right. Chose left. Put it on. Let's go with Mad Max for right now. We're not going to the parking lot. We're going curbside. And I've got my phone up here just to monitor. His flight was scheduled to get in at 3:33, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit early. Of course, they've got to taxi and get to the terminal. I don't know if he checked bags or not, but what I'm going to do is, if I don't get a text from him by the time I get to the airport, then I'm going to change the destination to the cell phone lot and just wait there for him. But yeah, excited about that. So one of my military sons is going to be able to be home for the Thanksgiving holidays, the Marine. The older one, the oldest one, the sailor, he is not going to be able to be home. He is currently deployed, as they say. So this Mad Max is definitely Mad Maxing it through here. So yeah, let me switch it to standard for right now, because that was a little bit too fast. That was 47 and a 30. Now granted, nobody's around. It's a Saturday afternoon, but still, that's a bit much. Maybe we'll toggle back and forth just so we can see what the differences are on these roads. We're about to turn on to North Park, which is a 40 mile per hour, I believe. It's either 40 or 45, but we'll see. And so there, I don't think it's as big of an issue with Mad Max. When you're on 30 mile per hour roads, the Mad Max is a bit much for those. Let's see, we've got oncoming traffic on North Park, so we're just going to wait them out a little bit. Let's see. Nope, still got traffic. Sorry, right now. There we go. Good gap. All right. So yeah, we are not that far from the airport. It takes about 20 minutes to get to the airport, from 15 to 20 minutes depending on traffic, to get to the airport from where we live. Got over there nicely for those vehicles slowing down to go into the grocery store, the Walmart grocery store. So yeah, we're going to take North Park for about 3 miles. Or I'm sorry, about 2 miles, and then get on 59 East Tex Freeway going southbound towards Will Clayton Parkway. And then once you get on Will Clayton Parkway, that takes you into the airport. The Houston George Bush Intercontinental Airport, which, by the way, is still an absolute catastrophic mess right now. I get it why it's a mess, because there's an immense amount of construction going on there. They're trying to get our airport ready for the World Cup next summer. But I'll tell you, based on what I saw the last time I was at the airport, they're going to have to hustle, because it does not look like an area that's going to be ready by June. I mean, crazier things have happened where they can get things done. But I don't know, just based on past history and what, especially Terminal B. I mean, Terminal B basically does not exist right now. And it's one thing if they just say, well, we're just not going to have Terminal B ready by June, so we'll focus all of our efforts on the other terminals. That's great, but all of the roads have been messed up as well. All the roads and the road signs around, you know, because the terminals are right there by each other. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope they can do it. But I will not lie and say I have a whole lot of faith that they're going to have it completely done before June. I mean, that's just 7 months now. I was going to make one more statement about what they probably need to do in order to keep construction going. And it involves, you know, politics a little too much, so I'm going to stay away from that. But you probably gather what I would say is, if you want something constructed and done within the next 6 to 7 months in Houston, Texas, well, that's going to involve some individuals that we've recently been on a tear to be more aggressive on their status, and I'll just leave it at that. All right, I'm gonna open up my monster here. I got a pink monster. Strawberry Dreams. Now we're gonna have to sit through the light here at the intersection of North Park and 494. So it's been a while since I've done a solo drive with commentary, so just a table set for everybody. You probably already know if you've been watching any of my Tesla FSD Uber ride videos, but I am on version 14.1.4, so I have not been updated to either 14.1.7 or 14.2. So I think 14.1.7 started going out about a week or two ago. I did not get that update. And about 2 or 3 days ago, I think it was about 3 days ago now, version 14.2. So not just a new instance, you know, within 14.1, but a whole new, I don't know if you'd call it a version. I think versions are 14. So whatever that is, a dot release instead of a dot release. So that's pretty big. So when you go from 14.1 to 14.2, that should be a pretty significant update. Whereas the dot releases, i.e., when I say dot versus dot releases, going from 14.1.4 to 14.1.7 did not seem to be that significant of a update, at least from what I saw in videos and what I experienced with 14.1.4. But generally, going from a dot release, you know, changing dot, so 14.1 to 14.2, those are usually fairly significant. Obviously not as significant as an entire version, like going from version 13 to 14. That was definitely a significant update. I completely felt how significant that was going from version 13 to version 14. Obviously, the most objective one that people could see were the destination options. Those are huge. Especially as an Uber driver, that's been really, really cool to have destination options. So you can park curbside to pick somebody up, or pick a parking lot. You know, if you're going into, and granted, I don't use the parking lot option as much as an Uber driver. Obviously, curbside's going to be the majority, but still very nice to have that. And then the parking garages. I will tell you though, I didn't have a whole lot of luck with parking garages in downtown Houston here on version 14.1.4, but I do know others around the country have had better results. And I'll be the first to admit that because I focus on Uber, I did not go out there and try to test the parking garage functionality as much as others may have, because it's just not relevant for me, right? I'm using my Tesla for rideshare, and I've done nearly 1,500 ride shares, and not one time has anybody requested or needed me to park in a parking garage as part of ride share. So parking garages are completely from a personal Tesla ownership perspective. And so I just haven't focused on that as much, but still really, really nice to have that. And I'm happy to see that others have had better results. I just haven't tested it extensively. I probably should just scope out a day and go someplace else other than downtown Houston and see if it works better there. But the other destination options have been really, really good. The charger option has been 100%. Like literally every time I've ever gone to a Tesla supercharger on version 14, it has reversed in perfectly at the superchargers. And something very cool here recently, and this happened on 14.1.4, is that when I park in my driveway, well, first of all, it parks in my driveway now, which version 13 rarely did, but I can always get it to park in my driveway at home. But with 14.1.4, I could set it to charger, and that's significant for me because that's how I charge at home. I have my home charger right there at the end of my garage, and what I generally do is I reverse in. So even when it was parking finally in my driveway, I would still have to manually pull back out and reverse in so that I could charge. Well, now if I set it to charging at my home driveway, it will reverse in for me. So it's literally soup to nuts now, which is really, really cool. What else? Then I would say the other thing that's probably a lot less objective to observe through videos is just how much more sentient it feels on version 14. Just object avoidance. Don't get me wrong, there's some false positives that happen in there. And I know around the country there's a lot of things that have been reported. Most notably, folks who live in areas of the country where we get all 4 seasons, falling leaves, that they've had some issues with false positives as it relates to leaves. Here in Southeast Texas, in Houston, we just don't have a lot of falling leaves, right? First of all, we have pine trees. Man, we do have oaks and magnolias, but mainly it's pine trees. That's why this is called the Piney Woods area. And so we just don't have the falling leaves issue as much around here. At least I haven't experienced it. So maybe some others have. I am on standard mode right now, so that's why, if you've noticed, we're getting back. And I could put it on Mad Max, but we're only a mile and a half away from Will Clayton Parkway, so I'm just going to stay on standard for this ride. I have not gotten, let's see, anything, nope, nothing from, so let me see, let me check his flight real quick. Apologies. Let me just check real quick to see, have they landed? landed and taxiing to the gate right now. All right, so let me give him a real quick text. Oh. Hey Jacob, on my way to the airport right now. Let me know which terminal I need to come pick you up at. Period. I think Terminal E arrivals area is going to be best. But just let me know. All right. Send Jacob a text. And if you notice there, even though I have my cell phone right up here and I mainly have it there because of Uber, right? Because you do need to be able to use here's the ironic thing. Doing Uber, you have to be able to use your phone at certain times while you're in the car, which is kind of ironic. But having the MagSafe phone holder right there at the upper left corner of my Tesla screen is really helpful. Non-Tesla owners, they kind of do the same thing. What I've noticed with other Uber drivers is they will have their phone holders somewhere. They'll set it up where it's somewhere in the same area here. Having a Tesla really makes it much easier because I can just have it right there by the screen. But if you'll notice that as I was doing that with my phone, I got nagged there. So with 14.1.4, you still definitely have the nag in the supervised mode. It does not like you handling the phone too much. Generally speaking, that's not a big issue because even doing Uber, it's not like I have my hand on the phone that long. But in that particular case where I needed to text someone, let's see. Oh, shoot. You know what? I sent that to Jamie. Let me copy that. My gosh. Well, see, so let me, gee. Now I sent that text to the right family member. I sent the text to my sister-in-law. She's going to be like, let me text her, say sorry about that. Hey, Jamie, sorry about that. Meant to send that to Jacob. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Sell some Subarus! Exclamation point. All right, let me bring this up. So we are headed, I'm going to go ahead and since he's landed and they're taxiing, I'm going to go ahead and just let it go to, I've got it set towards Terminal E arrivals, and we'll just kind of play our luck. See if maybe he is out by that point. If not, no biggie. We can just circle back around the airport. But I would like to see how the construction, whoa, that is a huge bump right there. They need to do something about that bump. Woo, that Tesla almost had its nose up. There's a Tesla supercharger right there at the Ramada Inn here at the airport. So really cool that we've got a Tesla supercharger, and they're 250s as well. So got about, I want to say I think there's more than a dozen, maybe 16 over there they opened that up a couple of years ago. So that's been really cool that we have Tesla Supercharge. All right, we need to get over this lane. You're going to have to get over. It's not, there we go. See, the problem is that left lane right there turns into a left turn only lane. We didn't have an issue getting over this time, but only because there wasn't a lot of traffic in this middle lane. But that's one thing that even with version 14, for this particular intersection, it still had some issues. And I think part of it's because there's no road signs for it, right? It's not till you get to the very end that it tells you that this lane turns into a left turn only lane. And I'm not, I probably ought to take a look at how Google Maps handles that lane. I'm not sure. It probably documents that it's a left turn only lane. But again, you don't know until the very end. I know because I'm a Houstonian and I come to the airport a lot as an Uber driver. But yeah, I've never had an issue with it. FSD is always able to work its way back over, but still just not the best. All right. So we are on the airport campus, or whatever, the airport grounds. Right. So we're in the proper lane. This is where, as I've mentioned before in previous videos a long time ago, our airport is divided. No, why are you getting over here? No, this is wrong. No, why is it going over here? Yep. So it made a wrong lane selection there. It did the right thing, needs to stay right to go to this side of the airport, but it got into a lane that was a right turn only lane. So we had a couple of little lane selection snafus there. Again, corrected itself. All right. But anyway, what I was saying is our airports, we have two sides of the airport, terminals A and B on one side and terminals C, D, and E on the other. And so we successfully got over to this side of the airport. See a huge United airplane going across right there, across the terminal, above the roadway. Hopefully they reinforced those roadways very well. Obviously they have. All right, so you can see the sign up there for international arrivals, but here's the funny thing. That sign would lead you to believe you need to get all the way over to the left for international arrivals. And that's not actually the case because of the construction. Because eventually you do have to kind of get back up. Now it's got its blinker on correctly. So we do need to get over to the left. And let's see how we do here. We got quite a bit of traffic, but we do need to get over to the left. So it's made the correct lane selection prompt. But I'm not sure why it's not getting. There we go. Now we're getting over. All right, let's see how we do here. Now we should stay in this lane. This lane will should get you to the ramp for Terminal E arrivals. But we got to stay left. Do not go to the right. Let's see how we do here. There we go. Good job. Getting around. Okay. Good so far. All right. All right, we need to get over. We need to get over. There we go. Good job. Good job. Perfect. Excellent job. Now let's see. So it did it. It got to Terminal E arrivals area. Great job. We may have to circle around though. He hadn't texted me back. So let's see. Now we've got humans that what are we doing here? Got somebody stopped right here. All right. He's directed me to go this way, so I'm going to have to take over. So it did not follow the gentleman's hand signals there. All right. And I've not gotten a text back from Jacob. And it's not following her hand signals again, so I'm gonna push it to go. So we're at Terminal E arrivals, but I have not gotten a text, so we may need to circle back around again. So let me do cell phone lot. Let's do that. All right. So we're going to head on back out because he's not here yet. And eventually they're going to come up and yell at me. So we had 2 hand signals that FSD did not follow, as you can see there. All right, we're going to go to the cell phone lot and just wait. The cell phone lot is an area where, well, why am I explaining that? Every airport's got a cell phone lot, I'm assuming, where you can come to the airport and be pretty close, be a mile or 2 away from the terminals, and just wait for your passenger to let you know that they're there, so you're not having to circle around the terminals. So the good and the bad, well, not bad, but the good and the needs work. The good is, man, it got to Terminal E arrivals. So even with all the construction and the signs kind of being off a bit, it did a great job. The needs work is, you saw that it had a couple of lane selection snafus heading towards Terminal E. It got into a lane that was a left turn only lane, but it got its way back over. And then it got into a lane that was a right turn only lane, but got its way back over. And then as we got into Terminal E, it did not follow hand signals. So there was a cone there to stop people from going to the furthest rightmost lane in the arrival section, and the gentleman was signaling us to turn left, and it wasn't following that hand signal. So I disengaged to get it to go that direction. And then as we were going further into Terminal E arrivals, we stopped at the crosswalk, and we had a crossing guard there, or I don't know what you call the folks. That wasn't a police officer. It was somebody in the terminal helping direct traffic. But they were standing in the middle, and we were stopped. And my guess is that FSD believed that was an individual in the crosswalk, and they were there in order to cross. And so it was stopped. But that individual was not moving and did a hand signal to direct it to continue on through, and it wasn't following it. So I pushed the accelerator. So, yeah. Needs still under development for those scenarios right there, at least on this version. Again, I'm 2 versions behind now. So I'm on 14.1.4. So maybe 14.1.7 or 14.2 can handle those now. Who knows? All right, we are about a half mile away from the cell phone lot, so we'll just go there and park and wait. Yeah, I haven't gotten a text back from Jacob. We got a lot of people at the cell phone lot. A lot of people flying in today. Probably a lot of people flying in for the Thanksgiving holidays. Let's see if we can, let's see, parking lot. Yeah, I've got it on parking. Let me just make absolutely sure I've got it on parking lot. Yep. Let's see how it does. All right, coming through the parking lot. Let's not hit that gentleman. There we go. Coming through, a little tight squeeze here between 2 trucks, Ford F-150s. There we go, found a parking spot. Let's get in there, perfect. Keep going, keep going. Excellent, perfect parking job. All right, well, I'm gonna shut the cameras down here for a little bit and just wait until I get word from Jacob. And then we'll head on over either back to Terminal E arrivals or wherever he wants us to pick him up. Talk to y'all in a little bit. Bye-bye. All right, I'm back. Just got word that he is at Terminal C arrivals. So instead of going to Terminal E arrivals, we'll try our luck with Terminal C arrivals. I may need to take over. We'll just see. We didn't have to do that with Terminal E. So let's see how we do with Terminal C. Let's get going. I've got the navigation already set for Terminal C. Now here's the interesting thing. Because of all the construction, there is no setting in Tesla navigation for Terminal C arrivals area. And I get why, because it's changed so much. So we're just going to see. I put it to Terminal C. So unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to take us to Terminal C departures or arrivals. So again, I may need to disengage and take over, not because of FSD, just because there's no ability to navigate specifically in the system to where to go. But we'll see. All right. Got it on standard. Yep. Once we get close again to the terminal, I may put it on sloth. The only problem is you still gotta be kind of aggressive at the airport terminal. So I don't want it to not be aggressive, because then you can put it on sloth and you might not even be able to get into your lane because it's not aggressive enough. So it's that little subtle thing you gotta play. Probably standard's the best. I'll keep it on standard just so it maintains. All right, we're getting over, but we need to stay in these. No. What is it doing? No, that was wrong. We need to go. I don't know why it got over here. Are you going to get back over? You going to get back over? Yeah, it's going the wrong way. So I don't know why it did that. It showed that we need to go to Terminal C. And you can see that's going to A and B, and this is C, D, and E. So it made a wrong lane selection. Just checking my... So that was interesting. I don't know why it wanted to get all the way over to the left to go to Terminals A and B. some of this is just due to not having enough data for Tesla navigation. Let's just be blunt. The airport here is just torn up. And so there aren't any good destinations you can put in. All right, once again, we're going to need to get over to the right. Let me see what it's got it doing here. No, we need to get over to the right. I don't know. I am not sure what is going on. Yeah, I've got bad navigation in here. So this is not FSD. This is the navigation just doing something weird. I'm going to exit out of this and just have it go to Terminal E, which is right next to it. Make sure that I don't get nagged here. Terminal E. That was the only one that actually has a spot. It said Terminal E arrivals. So I probably should have done that from the get-go and then just change it over to Terminal C. All right, so there we go, Terminal C and D. I've got it set. Let's see, departures, Terminal C arrivals. So we need to get over. So I'm going to need to change it here in a second. See, none of that is in the navigation at all. So let's get on over. We definitely need to get over. All right. I'm going to take over and get it over here. In fact, I'm going to just take it out of navigation because the navigation is completely, see, this is what I'm talking about with our airport is we don't even have out of those 4 signs, 3 of them aren't even in the navigation that I can set here. So we got C arrivals. I'll follow the sign for that. I do have it on FSD right now, but I have no destination set because none of these exist in Tesla navigation right now. All right. Stay here in the Terminal C arrivals lane. Let me just see what they've got. Yeah, they don't have, they got parking for I don't want to go to parking though. Yeah, there's just nothing in here for it. I mean, you could try to set a pin to go to it, but you can see in an area like this, where everything's so bunched up, it's hard to set a pin for something like this. But we're in the right lane now. We're in the Terminal C arrivals lane. Let me just keep an eye out here to make sure, because that's going to parking, I believe. I don't want to go to Terminal C parking. And that lane over there is Terminal C departures. We don't want to go there. Yeah, that was parking. I'm pretty sure man, I just don't know anymore. So this is Terminal D right here. So a lot of these folks coming through here are for Terminal D, but I guess for Terminal C arrivals, you go through Terminal D, but you stay to the left so that you can bypass the Terminal D departures and arrivals. This is just a mess. It's a mess. Yeah, you see a bunch of these people just passing through. They're not even stopping for Terminal D. So this must be, yeah. The fact that you got to go past through Terminal D departures so that you can go to Terminal C arrivals tells you how bad our airport is just messed up. There should be dedicated places for each terminal. This is going to be a nightmare if this is still like this for the World Cup. Take off my sunglasses here for a second. Continuing on through. So honestly, those disengagements that I had to do, I don't blame that on FSD. There's just no navigation for it. Like once you get into our airport, it's hard to navigate to a specific area. Okay. Yep, we're still in the right lane. Got terminal C arrivals up there. Ah, this is just a hornet's nest here. Got police officers directing traffic, but I'm not sure how much they're even helping. I mean, probably the thing that they help with is keeping people moving along. All right. Now, what I don't know is, do we now need to get over? Oh, there was just an accident. There was almost just an accident directly ahead of us. Because I think, see, you got people over here trying to get over, because I think they're trying to get up to Terminal C departures and didn't realize that if you stay over there, you're going to go into the parking garage. I'm going to stay put until I absolutely have to, because I just don't know. So that's Terminal C departures lane right there. So I think we're still in the correct lane for arrivals. I think. Even though departures is right above us. Yeah. See, okay, there's a departure. So we're in the correct lane. Yeah, it's just so confusing. All right. One thing I could probably do now, let's see. So there's departures. I don't even know if you can set a pin for something here. Yeah, see, it's not even showing up there. Nope. See, it's wanting to get around traffic here. Nope, we're not doing that. We're staying right here. Because I can't set a, let me see if I like set a pin. Maybe I'll do that. Let's see if that, will that keep me straight? Yeah. Let's see how well that works. Just so I can keep myself over here. See, what it was trying to do is, because I can't put a destination in, it wants to get to the right to get around this traffic. Problem is, we need to be in this traffic. If this pin, well, I may try to keep that pin set for the next time I come to Terminal C arrivals. In fact, let me do this right here to see if, no, not that one. Stay with that one. Yep. Okay, so you kind of have to stay in that gap right there. See, that's the arrivals area. Look at that. So this is arrivals. Literally nothing on the map for Terminal C arrivals. One of the busiest terminals at the 4th largest city in the country, and there's nothing on Google Maps or Tesla navigation for it. See if it stays, keep going straight and then go right. Let's see how we do here. Let's see. Ah, there we go, staying right. So let's see how good this pin is. If it's good, then I'm gonna save that pin after we leave. Let's see, keep going right. Keep going to the right. Coming into the arrivals area now. There we go.
Smells good in here.
Does it smell good?
Yeah, sure. How's that Ubering going?
Going good, man. Let me get the
You be making that money?
Making that moolah, man. Making that moolah.
Yeah, that Uber
Sweet
money.
escape. Let's see. That is the... Yeah.
Yeah. But what have you been up to?
Oh, your seatbelt, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing good.
It's been a minute since I
see. Getting to
like 35, right?
35. That's
Yeah.
right, man. You got it right. Perfect.
Yeah.
I knew you were my favorite.
That's right.
So how's everything been going with you, man?
It's been going. It's been all right. San Diego's fun. I'm planning on staying out there so I can go to college.
That's what your mom was telling me.
Yeah.
So let's see, if I'm not mistaken, you get out in a year, right? Next November?
Yes, sir.
Next
November.
November. Have you saved up any leave to get out a little earlier? Or
yeah, I still have like 30 days of leave. Like I don't have that much because I do like.
You do like to use it. That's good though. You want to use it. You want to keep your sanity. So, but by the time your EAS comes up, you'll have about 30 days of leave.
Yeah, so I could get out.
Get out in October.
Yeah.
Nice. So basically, regardless, you've got less than a year now. So whether you use your leave before then or you save it up, so what's your EAS date? November what?
November 15th.
November 15th. So you could get out October 15th.
That's right.
So basically, you got 10 and a half months. That's it, man. You ready?
No, not really. It's like, dang. Because it's like...
It's just become part of who you are now.
Yeah.
So used to it. So when you say not really, I'm assuming that it doesn't mean you're thinking about re-enlisting.
I did think about it, or not.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Not re-enlisting, but more of like extending my contract.
Right.
So I could...
for a couple more years?
Yeah, just for like probably 2 years, because there's this one method that I could do where I could go to, because I'm in a detachment right now, or like that's what I've been, like at an attachment at a company, but yeah. I could extend for 2 years, and then I could ask to go to station, which is where like the whole ATC tower is at.
Yeah.
Like all the.
Yeah.
And I could learn, like I can get all my calls there, and then immediately go into the FAA because I have all the calls that.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. So, I mean, I would do that if I were you.
Yeah, I would want to do that, but then I also want to do college.
Yeah, well, you can't do college. Well, I guess not, because you'd be. So you won't.
So I'm trying to do college now. I'm taking one college class, but they're already kind of are my.
Really? What's going on?
Because they keep sending me out on like these.
Oh yeah, you can't go. And these are like online courses.
No, this is in person.
Oh, it's in person. Yeah. So if
like,
you get taken out, you can't be there.
For the test and all that. And I already missed one test.
Oh man.
And I emailed my professor and I was like, "Yo, can you like?"
I would assume though that most colleges in San Diego are kind of used to that, right?
Yeah.
They get sailors and Marines who get sent out. Yeah. But yeah, still it makes it a pain in the butt.
Fuck yeah.
So are you still trying to figure out whether you're just going to get out and go to college, or you extend your contract and do the other thing you were talking about? Or are you so you're kind of like, you're still trying to figure that out?
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about it because if I do stay here, or if I do stay in San Diego, I need to figure out like a living situation.
Yeah. Do you have any family or friends in the San Diego area?
Not in the San Diego area, but I have some in Long Beach.
Oh, of course in Long Beach, but that's still a pretty good haul.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they told me that I need to take like one of every math and science.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to have math and science for that. No doubt about it.
Because like if I'm taking calculus, because they already were talking about immediately putting me in physics next semester, and I was just like, oh my god, physics and chemistry.
If you're going to be a marine biologist, you got to do that. So So are you sure you want to be a marine biologist then?
I do, but
okay.
What's it called?
Because that's like basically math, chemistry, and science.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And then like. Or I was thinking about going accounting too. I was like, what if I become an accountant at JC?
Well, accounting, I will tell you, is I always tell people this, even if you don't think you want to ultimately be an accountant, if you're going to do anything in business, you could never go wrong studying accounting and getting an accounting degree, because it's the language of business, right?
Yeah.
Like if I was going to, I don't know, like if I was going to, say I'm going to move to a certain country and do business there. Well, you'll never go wrong studying the language and culture of that place, right? Because then it's going to be easier to do business in that place. Yeah. Maybe this isn't a great example, but like, that's why I tell people, like, if you're anything you're going to do in business, you'll never go wrong getting an accounting degree, because accounting is the language of business. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if you do anything in business, you've got to understand accounting, or you're going to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah. But that's
so, yeah, even if you don't want to be a CPA, like a public-facing accountant. Whoa.
Crazy guy.
Yeah. Well, it's just got so much congestion right here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's... yeah, I would highly recommend that if you even think you want to that's what you want to do is business, then go accounting. But if you're wanting to do marine biology, then accounting really isn't, going to help you there.
That's true. Frick. But then what's it called? You go to like other countries and like you said, learn the culture and all that, and learn the business and like how to like communicate.
Yeah.
Because that's what my friend did. She went to Korea for a whole semester.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And I was just like, shit.
What school does she go to?
She goes to SDSU.
Oh, San Diego State. Yeah. That's like the main college in San Diego, right? San Diego State.
Yeah, it's the main party college. The other, like the smart people college, is like, or like the try hard college is UCSD.
University of California, San Diego.
Yes, sir.
Is that part of the California system?
Yes.
Yeah, the UC system.
Yeah, UC system. I think SDSU is also part of that too.
Well, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but you specifically, because of your mom, don't you have like a special thing with the University of California system?
Yeah, I can go to any college.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
So I'm just like.
Actually, ironically, be financially better off going to school in California than you would be in Texas.
That's true, but then also Texas also has like the Hazelwood Act, and I was just like,
the Hazelwood Act works out good, but it doesn't like give you money for college. But you'd have the GI Bill too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just switched it from the Montgomery to post 9/11.
The post 9/11 one.
Because what's it called? They said that the post 9/11 is way better for going to college. And Montgomery is better for like trade school stuff. Yeah. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, they only had the Montgomery when I was in. We didn't have the post 9/11 because I was pre 9/11.
Yeah.
But so the way it worked out for me, it still worked out pretty good, but nowhere near as good as like for you and Zach. Is that when I got out and I had the Montgomery GI Bill, but then they also after the Gulf War, if you went to a state school, you basically just got your college paid for.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I went to a small, like Lamar, right? It's just your basic commuter states. Good school, but it's not private. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
And so that was all paid for. Plus then I got the GI bill. But now the Montgomery GI bill was not a whole lot of money. I want to say it was like, I got $500 a month. So I had my college paid for, but I got $500 a month.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but this was also in the early to mid 90s that I got, or the mid 90s. So $500 a month in 1994, 1996 is a lot different than $500
today.
A month. Yeah, today. So it actually did help me quite a bit. And I lived with my grandparents, so I wasn't paying, any rent or groceries. So the only cost I had was I had a truck, truck note and insurance. So I had to pay for that. And, that $500 a month came in handy on that. And then I went and got a job at Circuit City, which doesn't exist anymore. But
what happened to it?
It went bankrupt.
Oh.
I want to say it went bankrupt like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. But back in the 90s, Circuit City was huge. It was basically what you went to if you were going to get like a computer or a TV or even music. It was basically it was like a Best Buy before Best Buy. Yeah. It was Best Buy, but it was a lot cooler. They must have just made some really bad financial decisions.
Yeah.
That maybe they tried to expand too much, but yeah. So that's what. Do you remember the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yeah. Oh,
that was basically Circuit City.
Oh, okay.
What he worked in. So I worked in the warehouse in Circuit City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang, does that mean you got free electronics or what?
No, you didn't get what did the benefit? You did. There was an employee discount.
Okay.
So I want to say there was like a 10% employee discount on anything in the store, except you got a 20% discount on music.
Oh, nice.
So if you wanted to buy a TV or a computer or a refrigerator or anything like that, you got 10%, which is good. But music, you got 20% off, which back then, you got to remember this was the mid 90s. So if you wanted music, you had to buy a CD.
Yeah.
Right? Buy a CD or cassette tape. Cassette tapes were just going out at that time, but CDs but that was the only way you could, get music. There was no streaming.
Yeah, there's no Spotify or
there was no Spotify or
like
anything, Apple Music, nothing like that. And you didn't, Napster was kind of that first streaming thing, but that wasn't around yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you wanted to have music at your disposal, you had to buy a CD or a cassette tape or make your own cassette tape.
Or make your own.
Yeah.
Oh, bruh.
Turner Stadium.
Turner Stadium.
Yes, sir. That is. That's basically the quintessential Marine cowboy in the field.
Oh, yeah. That or, Yeah, I was like...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I think like, back in April was my first time.
With technology.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yep.
But yeah, how's Houston been?
It's been good. It's been good. I've been, like you said, I've been doing the Uber thing for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it, dude. I've done about 1,500 rides at this point.
Are you making some decent money?
Making decent money. I mean, it is, you're never going to get rich doing Uber.
Yeah.
But if you, once I learned the algorithm, because that's all it is.
Yeah.
The app is like an AI algorithm. Once I learned how it works, I will tell you, I can make during the weekdays. So like Monday night through Thursday night, I can make $30 an hour.
Okay.
And then on the weekends, dude, Friday nights and Saturday nights, like tonight,
without a doubt,
you can make $35-40 an hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sick.
Now that's with tips included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and the way Uber works is not everybody, most people don't tip Uber, but that's just culture. Our culture is that you generally don't tip for transportation. You know, and I get it. I know a lot of Uber drivers don't like it, but what I've told them is like, look, nobody tips a bus driver or, you know, an airplane pilot. You know, you don't go. So people just aren't used to tipping for, but what I would say is about anywhere from 15 to 25% of riders do tip. Usually they're like business, travelers or tourists or whatnot.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky, man. I've actually gotten to the point where I'm kind of in that 30 to 40% of my riders tip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is just, you know, the interaction, you know, trying to communicate.
I was going to ask what's your star rating?
5-star.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have a 5.0, 1,500 rides, and I got a 5.0.
Whoa.
So, you know, that means something. Now, granted,
definitely.
only half of riders rate.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing I found is like 50% of people that take an Uber ride, they forget about tipping. They don't even rate you. I think it's like as soon as they get out of the Uber, they're done.
Thanks.
They forget.
Yeah.
Thanks, bye. And they don't even close out the app.
Yeah, they're just like, nah.
Done. I'm done.
gonna tip.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got a 5.0 rating, and that's with tips included. So, yeah, I've been really enjoying it. Every once in a while, I'll take a few days off. Like I took off last night and just rest up. And I mean, I'm retired, so it's not like I'm out here needing to do it for income, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice as a retiree. It is nice to do something that's productive and that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And so ironically, because I enjoy it, I actually make more money at it.
Oh, hell
Which is pretty cool.
I was going to say it beats working at Walmart. You see the
Yeah, I would
people that
not
are working at Walmart?
Yeah, I
so-
don't want to do
I
that.
was like, oh boy.
Yeah, but the other thing that helps out, Jacob, is that it's a Tesla.
No.
So I don't pay for gas,
True.
right? It's fully electric. And because I own a home, I can charge it out of my garage,
Yeah.
which is cheap. So that right there helps with my profitability. And the fact that probably not in San Diego where you probably see a bunch of Teslas.
Uh-huh.
But in Houston, a lot of my passengers, I'm their first trip ever in a Tesla,
Oh, really?
right? So that's part of the enjoyment of it as well. So I think that might be one of the reasons why my tip percentage is a little higher, is because and when I say percentage, I don't mean how much they tip. Most people throw in $1 or $2.
Yeah.
But I tell Pat, like, even if it's just $1, man,
Yeah,
Uber driver, yeah, they love that. Like that's just showing a little bit of appreciation. And if you do 20 to 25 passengers a night, that adds up $1 or $2,
Oh, yeah.
right? But anywho, that's beside the point. But I think that's why I get maybe 30 to 40% of my passengers to tip me versus, the average is 10 to 15% of passengers will tip. It's because here in Houston, for a lot of my passengers, it's their first time to ever experience Tesla or experience this, like self-driving.
Yeah.
Like I haven't done things since you got in the car.
Oh, yeah.
So for a lot of people, that's like, wow, I've never seen that before. So it's the experience of it. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah. But it's also nice that I don't have to do it, because I'm retired. So I got my normal retirement income coming in, so I can take time. Like today, I'm picking you up. So I was like, hell, I need to go out there in Uber. I'll go and pick up Jacob. Or secondly, your mom's doing so damn good.
Yeah?
Have you talked to her lately? But no, she's doing great, man. So like, they really.
Dude, that's what's up. Yeah, because
Just ask her about it when you hear and tell her congratulations. So
Yeah, because I was gonna say that every time I talk to her, she's always like busy working.
Yeah, she works. Well, it's your mom.
Yeah,
Dude,
she's a workaholic.
she's like your grandma.
Yeah, I just wish they would take a break.
Well, I mean, you know what? That's when she enjoys working. What's this? Forget which. This is elementary school, right?
Yeah. I was looking at it, I was like, whoa.
Eagle Springs Elementary. This your old stomping grounds, man.
No, I never went here.
No, I mean like this area.
Just the area.
Yeah, you never went there. You went to elementary up in, you went to elementary in Long Beach.
Yeah, in Long Beach, and then in Sugarland.
Sugarland, and then I don't think you did elementary up there in Willowbrook area.
No.
You were in junior high by that point.
Yeah, junior high.
And then you did high school at both Sugarland and at Atascocita, right?
Yeah. Atascocita.
Atascocita. Old Atascocita High. Now we're getting into your old stomping grounds.
Oh, yeah. Wait, did you see that they were, they leaked, like, some of the Epstein files stuff?
The what files?
Epstein files.
Oh, yeah. What? I was like, at Atascocita High?
No.
Did Epstein come to Atascocita High to get girls?
Oh, no. But what's it called? Did you see that one email where it was like a Putin and he was like, it's so funny.
There's a picture of it.
And then, no, that one's AI.
Oh.
Yeah, the AI is actually getting
AI could do some crazy stuff
It's
now.
actually getting super crazy.
It's getting crazy good. I mean, that's obviously terrible, but the technology's crazy good.
Oh, yeah. But I also feel bad because they have to use so much water to like cool the systems and the servers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where like
the amount of power that you see
and
how
like
we do
places
here.
like Iowa, which doesn't have like really strong like water regulations.
Parking perfectly.
Oh my god.
Let's see, get in here.
Does it? Yeah. It's pretty good.
Did good. All right. Well, I'm gonna go in there and say hey to your mama.
I'm gonna say hey to my mama as well.
All right, everybody. Back in the Tesla. Dropped Jacob off at the boba shop, at my wife's Vietnamese restaurant and boba shop, so that he could get the car for while he's here during the week. And we're going to head on back to the casa. Let's go. Push the button. Go in reverse. Going to go a little tentatively because we're right next to my brother-in-law's Dodge Ram truck, which has got a long bed on it, so it had to work to get its vision. All right, we're going to turn here. I think we're going to go past the drive-through. Yep. And go out the back way. All right. Yes, I had a nice visit at the boba shop with some other family. Obviously, my wife. And then one of my nieces and my brother-in-law was there, and a couple of the employees. So caught up with them a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Got one of the kids home for Thanksgiving already. So the only other one that we're waiting on is my youngest, who's up in college. So can't remember when their last day of school is. He may be coming home today too. He just shows up sometimes. They all just kind of show up. They don't really think to text ahead of time to give you a heads up, but no worries about that. So yeah, that's cool. Gonna have some kids home for Thanksgiving. So used to being an empty nester, now it's just basically me and my wife in the house, and then occasionally one of my sister-in-laws stays with us from time to time, and got a couple of cousins that come in and out, and then my brother-in-law, when he's in town, he stays with us. But here lately it's just been me and my wife, so kind of nice to have some more voices in the house. All right. let's see, what were we, before I picked up Jake? So, yeah, I guess we'll talk about the airport. So yeah, y'all saw there, it's not just the amount of construction going on at our airport. It's just, there's no navigation points in either Google Maps or in Tesla navigation, which I guess is essentially one and the same since it sits on top of Google Maps. But to set a destination at our airport is just damn near impossible. I am definitely looking forward to the day when I can do just like everybody else seems to be able to do with their airport, is punch in the destination and then you get all these nice little sub destinations to go to certain areas of the airport. We just don't have that right now. So the two, I was mentioning that on X today. Somebody was asking me, with as much Uber as I do I still have any interventions or disengagements? And I was telling them, really, it's only two scenarios now. Like, basically, all of my Uber rides are pickup spot to drop off spot, no human intervention at all, the vast majority. But there are two specific scenarios where I generally have to disengage, just have to. One of them, like I just said, is the airport. So if I go pick up or drop off somebody at Bush Intercontinental, I'm highly likely going to need to disengage in order to get the Tesla to the specific departure ramp or arrivals area. Just going to have to. So that's one. So pretty much any time that I pick up somebody from the airport or take somebody to the airport, I'm going to have to do a disengage. Ooh, almost had a wreck there. And then the second scenario is even fewer and farther in between, is if I'm going through a school zone and it's an active school zone, so it's that 1 hour in the afternoon where school, because I'm not doing Uber when schools, when kids are getting to school. I'm sorry. I mean, I end my Uber shift a lot of times, sometimes between 2 and 4 a.m. Yeah, I am not out and about at 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. So I don't experience it during that time. But I have started my Uber shift from time to time where I'm going through a school zone when they're getting out of school in the afternoon, which is usually, on average, 2:30 to 3:30. That seems to be when there's an active school zone. And so if there are flashing yellow lights signifying that it's an active school zone, version 14.1.4 is 100%. 100%. And I can say that emphatically, that every single time that I have gone through an active, like this one, it's not flashing right now, but just to give you an example, you can see this school zone has lights. This type of school zone sign where there are flashing lights to tell you that it's active, it's 100% successful. 14.1.4 has licked it with flashing yellow lights. But there are other school zones, unlike this one, where they don't have the flashing yellow lights. All they have is a sign that tells you to go down to 20 or 25 miles per hour, or whatever it is for that particular school, but to go down to 20 or 25 miles per hour during this one specific hour. And it's in writing to tell you what that specific hour is, but FSD, at least version 14.1.4, is not picking up on that. It is not reading that sign, that speed limit sign, noticing that it is, yes, in fact, it is 2:45 p.m. So we now need to slow down to 20 miles an hour. No, it's not doing that. So In fact, what I've seen in those situations is it's pretty much disregarding that speed limit sign. So if there is a speed limit sign that has the yellow school zone marker at the top and says 20, it just completely disregards that unless there is a flashing yellow light along with it. What I've noticed, at least in Houston, I can't speak to any other city or location around the country, but what I would say is here in Houston, fortunately, probably between 70 to 80% of school zones use flashing yellow lights. So I'm usually pretty good going through most school zones. But again, there are 20 to 30% of school zones that don't have them. And on those school zones, no, it's not working yet. It is not ascertaining that it's time to slow down. The other thing that I've noticed, and I got to keep it real. I want to make sure that, whenever I'm discussing something related to FSD, that I'm keeping it real and not trying to justify anything. The reason why I do think it is important that we lick these signs that don't have flashing yellow lights is because what I have noticed is the majority of the school zones that just have the signs and no flashing lights are elementary schools. Now, I have no clue why junior highs and high schools and middle schools, I don't even know if they have junior highs anymore. Maybe that's just middle school. But it seems like if it's a middle school or a high school or a junior high school, they all have flashing yellow lights. But elementary schools don't. And my guess would be is because there's way more elementary schools than there are high schools, right? Because you're going to have more elementary kids, right? Generally speaking, in school. And so, yeah, and they're smaller. Most of the elementary schools are like neighborhood schools. They're specific to that one neighborhood. And so they're a bit smaller. And there's more of them. And so they seem to not have the yellow flashing lights. So, not that any child should be more important than another one. So the well-being of an elementary school child should not be considered higher than the well-being of a middle school or high schooler. Obviously, we want all of their well-beings to be good. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely want elementary school kids to be, to have the benefit of the technology. Plus, you think about it, it's going to be elementary school. Okay, we got a bike rider coming. Okay, great job. We got a, elementary school kids are still developing a lot, right? And they're still learning that you don't cross the street without looking both ways. And they're still learning about road rules, how you act around vehicles, right? So we probably do need to be safer around elementary school kids than we do high schoolers, right? Because high schoolers, by the time a kid's in high school, a lot of them are driving already, right? But even the ones that aren't driving, they understand road rules. They understand looking both ways. They understand not to play around in traffic. So ironically, FSD, at least from what I've seen, it's 100% going through high school and middle school zones. But because most elementary schools don't have flashing yellow lights, that's where I find myself having to disengage from time to time. So, yeah, I just wanted to be totally transparent with that. Obviously, I don't think anybody, even the most Tesla bull of Tesla bulls, would sit there and argue with me that we shouldn't be safe in elementary school zones, right? So I'm not worried about that. But, yeah, I just wanted to be transparent on that. So that's gotta be, addressed in one form or fashion. So what it may end up being, as robotaxi initially starts, and this is just one idea that I have, is that as robotaxi first starts rolling out, that you may just need to avoid certain school zones. Unless they get this part of it licked. Like I said, all I can speak to is what I see with 14.1.4. It has 0% of the time abided by a speed limit in an active school zone where there's only a speed limit sign and no flashing light. 0%. So that's all I can go off of, is what I've observed. And so what I would say is, if we don't have that licked prior to robotaxi rolling out as much as it can roll out in Houston and other cities, they're just going to need to have it avoid certain areas where there's a potential for an active school zone. Maybe it just doesn't go through certain areas at certain times. I don't know. But if they don't, they're going to have to get that licked. It's either or. They can't be just wing it and hope for the best. So it's either going to be one of those two things. It's either going to be signs get completely licked and we're 100% through school zones, or you just have robotaxi automatically not be able to go into certain neighborhoods where there are, oh, I still got my sunglasses on. Sorry about that. It's like dark as all get out and I still had my sunglasses on. Yeah. I don't know. Let me know if y'all have any different opinions on that. But I mean, that's not going to slow down robotaxi. See, there's another one with a sign. Now that's interesting because I think this is an elementary school. That's a middle school. So see what I'm talking about? Middle school, they got the flashing yellow light. And I've been through here before and it works. So, yeah, that's my guess, is why you see flashing lights at middle schools and high schools and not elementary schools. I don't know. Yeah. And so there's an elementary school down there that way, and it does not have a flashing light. You can't see it in the video, but I was looking down the street at Green Tree Elementary. They have a sign that says slow down to 20, but there's no flashing light beside it. So there you go. Again, another example of where high schools and middle schools seem to have it, but not the elementary schools. So yeah, let me know what y'all think, but one thing I can tell you, it's not going to slow down robotaxi, right? I mean, at the end of the day, most elementary schools are tucked deep into neighborhoods and suburbs and whatnot. So, even if you put a automatic governor on top of FSD or some sort of AI algorithm or whatever that keeps it out of certain areas, that's not going to slow down robotaxi, because that's like 0.1% of the area of the country is taken up with elementary schools. So there's a part of me that's like, it's not as big a deal as you might think it is. Obviously, it'd be a big deal if it runs through an elementary school and doesn't slow down. But to avoid elementary schools is not that big a deal. It would, at a certain point, let's see, we're stopping, they run a red light, and we stay put. Interesting. So here I am talking about the safety features and how FSD needs to get better around school zones, and then right on cue, a human driver runs a red light. So, but yeah, I mean, that's my personal opinion, is that you just don't, until you definitively get that licked, you just avoid school zones like that. And maybe that does involve a little bit of mapping, because you got to know which school zones have the flashing lights and which ones don't. But yeah, you can't just send them out there into those schools. So you have to avoid them. But I know we can do that because Tesla Robotaxi does that now. Waymo, they do that now. That's why when you go to Austin and you get a Waymo, that's why a Waymo takes 15 minutes versus an Uber taking 6 or 7 minutes. The reason for that is Waymo can't go to certain places. They specifically avoid certain scenarios. And so you can, compare a Waymo trip and an Uber trip for the exact same area in a congested area of Austin, and it basically takes twice as long in a Waymo because of those restrictions. So it can be done. But with Waymo, it's not as important, right? Because they're basically focused on city centers. Now they're getting on highways, but Waymos are just not, they're not going to be ubiquitous. They're not going to be going into these neighborhoods like this. Teslas are. Teslas are going to be doing ride share in all the suburbs. And not just out of the suburbs, within the suburbs. So Tesla's got to get that right. I hate to say this, but I don't think Waymo's got to get school zones right. Because they're just not going to, they're not going to be able to scale to get to school zones. So, because you can't map out, you can't geofence and LiDAR and map out a sign that's only active for an hour. That's going to have to be artificial intelligence. But in fairness to Waymo, Tesla hadn't figured that out yet, at least from what I've seen. Maybe 14.2 or 14.3 has. So I'll be interested to see that. But I cannot speak to that yet, as I am 2 software releases behind now. But you know what's funny? I'm not even, I honestly, somebody was mentioning that to me on X today, like, oh man, JC, you need to get us. Like, I don't even think about that anymore. It's so funny how doing Uber has completely changed my feelings about software releases. Because I'm more focused on showing people FSD that have never even experienced it before. And I have more fun, honestly. Not that, don't get me wrong, I love doing videos for y'all, obviously, because I do them. I love doing videos for y'all. I like putting them out there for y'all. But, let me just be transparent. It is 100 times more fun to go out and do Uber for me. It is. It's just, and it pays 100 times more. So I'm just kidding on that. Obviously, I'm not doing it but it does. The actual act of doing Uber for 8 hours in surge zones in Houston, Texas. Oh, it's like the amount I get paid from X and YouTube in one day's worth of X and YouTube versus 1 day of Uber in inner city Houston and the Galleria at night is like the difference between throwing a bullet and shooting a bullet. Yeah, it's not even close. So, yeah, just for those reasons, I'd love to get it, but I'm not going to get online and complain about it. I'm just not. And there's so many people that are better than me at showing you all the differences, the improvements to, there's like obviously Omar and Dirty Tesla and Chuck Cook and all those. I mean, there's Devin up in Canada. Those guys are so much better. Now, let's just be blunt. They're smarter. They're more technical. These guys, they're like engineers, right? This is their ballywick. This is what they're good at. And I'm not. I know what what I'm good at is getting people who are only supposed to tip 10% to tip 50 to 60%. That's what I'm good at. And showing them FSD and getting paid for it. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not. And there's so many other people. Now I've got, shit, I didn't have it set on charger. So I'm gonna have to back out. Man, I should have set that to charger. Well, all right, we got home. But yeah, let me finish that thought. There's so many great people out there on X and YouTube that are really, really good at showing you the differences. And so that's what I would recommend is if you're really wanting to see that like tip of the spear, changes in the technology stack, go, dude, seriously, if you have not subscribed to Omar's catalog or Devin or Chuck Cook or Dirty Tesla or AI Driver, JD, do that now. Fix that now. They are so good at showing you that. So I'm really not adding that much value in showing the difference in different versions. Honestly, I think at this point in my life, I just feel like I'm a lot better at showing people who are clueless. Is going into inner city Houston and picking up somebody who's never even been in a Tesla. Or, shuttling people around Houston suburbs who this is their second or third time in a Tesla, but they've never ever experienced FSD. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. And, just economically, it does a lot better for me too. Not that should matter, but it just does. And so if I'm having more fun with something else, which is Uber, and I'm getting paid 100 times more, because I'm probably enjoying it more, then that's probably the universe telling me, don't worry about getting the next software release. Just enjoy the one you got and go show people who've never experienced any of it. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I do appreciate everybody out there that seems to be more concerned than I am about me not, but I'm not. Do not worry about me. If the fact that I'm 2 software releases behind, please do not get out there and bellyache for me, because I am not sad about that. And so what I would tell you is go subscribe to those people I just mentioned and go watch their videos. They are going to give you so much better content on that. And as for me, if you want to hear a conversation with somebody that's never experienced it before, then I'm your guy. So there's room for everybody here. But yeah, don't worry about, getting online and bellyaching to Tesla on my behalf, because I'm not belly aching about it and I'm not concerned. So I'll get it when I get it. With that being said, I hope everybody's having a great Saturday night. I love you. It's nice to do one of these solo videos again. I'll try to do more of them here in the future, but I'll go ahead and sign out for now and wish everybody a wonderful weekend. I love all of you. Bye bye.